What?
And welcome back. It's another edition of Does It Bite? It's a riveting, thrilling podcast about all things pests.
Yeah.
I'm Stephanie here with Michael from Bug Tech. How's it going?
No, doing great.
All right, so today we're going to talk about integrated pest management. It sounds super serious,
very serious.
and not really that interesting, but you're going to make it really interesting because it's important to understand that there's a difference between being an exterminator and being a pest manager.
Right.
Right?
Mm-hmm. That's right.
So I know you love the thrill of the kill, but it's not always about that, is it?
That's right. You know, when people think about pest control,
Yeah.
all they think about is us killing stuff.
Right.
Which is, I'm not going to lie, it's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun to kill stuff. But, that's not what we all do, Bug Tech, especially, we preach integrated pest management.
Okay.
We preach it because it's not always about putting chemical down. It's not always about, hey, I'm going to kill this. When we deal with pests, we're going to be dealing with insects. We're going to be dealing with animals. We're going to be dealing with birds.
Right.
So all those different things are different.
Right.
So that's why as a pest manager, you know how to deal with all those different things.
Okay.
It's not all about, we're going to kill this, kill that. It's about how can we control it.
Right, because we want a long-term solution for a
Right.
homeowner. We don't want to just come in one fell swoop and say, we're done, peace out.
Right. It's not a sprint. This
Yeah.
is a marathon. When it
Gotcha.
comes to pest control management, it's a marathon. It's constantly staying on top of it, constantly doing this, constantly doing that. Because, back in the day, a long time ago,
Yeah.
they used to have chemicals that would just wipe everything out.
That can't be good for the environment. That can't be good for ecology.
And health and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So when the EPA came in, they said, we got to get rid of all this stuff because there's a lot of secondary kills going on. There's some cancers that are being caused by these things. So we need safer, more efficient chemicals that we can put out.
Okay.
But not even that. It's about, hey, how can we take care of the same situation, but not always put chemical down.
Right.
What else can we do? So that comes into integrated pest management and all these different aspects that we can do to take care of the pest problem.
All right, so let's talk about some of that. Biological. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what is that sort of a treatment? And give me some examples of how that would work.
Yeah, so there's different things that could go on in the world of ecology.
Okay.
So in the world of pests.
Yeah.
So let's take birds for instance. Okay. So we have a major pigeon problem. Major pigeon problem.
The rats of the sky.
The rats of the sky.
I heard a really wise pest manager call it that one time.
Yeah. So we have the rats of the sky. So it's going to be easy for us to go out there and shoot them. We live in Texas. We like to shoot stuff.
Right.
It's easy for us to do that, but sometimes it's not what it warrants.
Right.
So we could do a biological treatment. Bug Tech doesn't do it, but there are some people who do, and it's called falconry. So
Never heard of that.
Yeah, so falcons is the natural predator of pigeons.
I like that.
So you can release a falcon, and a falcon can come in and basically scare those pigeons away because the pigeons know we are the prey of this predator, and this predator is in this area, which scares those pigeons away, and now you have no pigeons.
And that's a long-term solution because that falcon nests there and permanently keeps those pigeons at bay.
Oh, yeah.
And you were also talking about for mosquitoes, sometimes you don't always have to put chemical down. Sometimes there's biological treatment. What does that look like?
Yeah, so let's say you have a beautiful courtyard, pond, whatever. So mosquitoes are going to love your pond because they're going to lay their eggs in your pond. So mosquitoes have to have water for the pupa and the larvae to survive. One biological way of taking care of that is putting fish in your pond because those fish will eat the pupa and the larva of the mosquitoes. So now you don't have any emerging adult mosquitoes in your area. So, there's so many different biological ways of doing it. And, it's not always about the chemical application.
I love that. And I think that people feel good about that because we get a lot of questions about, kids and pets. In fact, we even have someone in our office who can't be there when you spray because he's got some allergic reactions. So we have to be really careful with chemicals.
Oh, yeah. I mean, and that's why integrated pest management is so important.
Yeah.
Because it's not always about the chemical application. It's about the different ways we can get these pests out of the situation without having to apply any chemical.
And part of that, because you and I have talked a lot about this too, is really understanding the pest and their lifestyle and their habits, because that determines how the best way to treat them as well.
Oh, yeah. I mean, because the next thing we could do is cultural stuff.
Okay.
So, why do we have so many flies in my house? Well, when I go out to do a treatment for you, I see that there's trash piled up by the back door, or the dumpster lids are wide open, or there's different things like that. And we're like, well, if we change the culture, if we get rid of the trash that you have piled up by the door, if we get rid of all the dog and cat poop, if we close the dumpsters on there, that will help alleviate some of the fly pressure that you have in your house. So those culture things can actually change the pest presence in the home or our commercial building.
I never thought about it like that.
Yeah.
That goes the same with roaches too, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So, if you're cooking all the time and not cleaning up after you cook, grease evaporates. So once it evaporates, it kind of sticks to whatever is above it.
Yeah.
That grease sets there, and bugs. I mean, the roaches love grease.
Do they really?
Oh yeah, that's one of their favorite things to eat. So if you don't clean that up, the roaches will just thrive there. So it's the small things like that will help get rid of the pest problem in your home or in your commercial business. Yeah.
And then mechanical. What would some mechanical pest management solutions look like?
So, here in West Texas, we have this thing called a centipede. It's that long bug with a whole bunch of legs on it. And it can sneak into your house. And when I go to do a treatment for those, the first thing I'm going to look at is the exclusion of the home to make sure that there's no way that this centipede could get in, or if there's a way, he's getting in. So a lot of times what I find is where the door sits probably maybe a half inch above the threshold. So those guys could just slip right in. Well, a mechanical way to keep them out is to put a door sweep on. I didn't apply any chemical at all, but just installed a door sweep. And that keeps those bugs out of the house. So it's, fixing the screen on your screen doors, on your windows, closing your windows, turning the lights off. Those are all mechanical ways to keep pests away from your home. So, it's not all about the chemical application. That's why it's so big to Bug Tech that we implement integrated pest management. Because it helps the customer out. It helps us out to make the job a whole lot easier for us to treat. And it makes sure that it shows the customer that we know what we're talking about.
Exactly, because sometimes you might use a couple of these methods.
Right.
Because once you kill it with chemical, you want to keep that issue from continuing, so then you might employ a mechanical solution.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, definitely. And it's just all because, there's some misnomers out there about chemical. And, some folks don't want chemical in their house. So we can employ those other ways of doing it to make the customer happy. So we can apply mechanical. We can put the door sweeps on. We could fix the screens. We could do a biological thing. We could put fish, or we could put birds, or whatever. Well, we don't put birds, but there could be birds there. We could do some biological stuff, some cultural stuff that will help the customer in that situation.
Interesting. And so talk now about chemical application, because I think that's what most of us think of. So how does that play into this concept of integrated pest management?
Yeah, so, let's say we have a major issue with ants, and we know where they're nesting, and we know where they're at. So we would do a chemical application in that particular situation, because that's not really much of a cultural or a biological thing we could do. We know we could put a chemical down there to eradicate that colony. So we're always going to look. This is personalized pest management that we're doing. We're going into each and every house, and we're figuring out what will work best for that house. It's not a blanket statement that we do. We're not, we're going to do this, and this, and that's it for every house that we
Right.
do. We're going to go in and we're going to inspect. We're going to figure out what's going on. We're going to ask the customer questions. And if we have to put down chemical, we will. We're going to treat the exterior perimeter, the interior perimeter, water points where roaches can come in, bugs can come in, earwigs can come in, silverfish can come in. We're going to do all that. So we want the customer to be comfortable with what we're doing by talking to them and letting them know the different things that we could do, the different things that they can do to help out with the situation.
You know what I really love about that and that idea of personalized pest management is you really have to build relationship with the customer. You have to ask really good questions, and then you have to really listen.
Right.
Because it is never one size fits all, is it?
It never is. And that's one thing that I teach my guys
Yeah.
is that we want our customers to be our friends and our family.
That's right.
Because we want to treat their house like it's our house.
Yeah.
So when we talk to the customer, we want to get to know the customer. We know their kids, we know their dog's name and stuff like that. But we also want them to know that, hey, Buck Tech is coming in and they're taking care of our situation. There is a lot of stuff going on in life, and pest control is one thing that I don't want my customers to worry about because that's our job to take care of it for them.
I love that, Michael. Thank you.
No problem.
Integrated pest management. It's awesome for our environment. It's smart for our homeowner. And I appreciate you guys and everything you're doing.
I appreciate y'all.
All right. Well, that's it for Does It Bite? We will see you guys next time.
What?